All right, so welcome everyone to our Welcome to the Nightingale Library webinar. We're going to go ahead and get started. Please remember to mute yourself. We'll go over some quick tips about how to navigate the webinar in just a moment. And thank you again for joining me today. So before we get started, please review the features that are found at the top toolbar of today's webinar. Things like interacting using the chat, raising your hand, access to different views of the webinar, things like muting your microphone and also turning on and off your camera. Those are all features that are available at the top toolbar of today's meeting. So I want you to be mindful of those features. In the event that you need to utilize any of them, I do ask that you use the first one that I mentioned, that's going to be to mute your microphone. You'll have an opportunity to unmute at the end when we start our Q&A, but I do ask that you mute just for the purpose of going through the webinar so there's no background noise or any disruptions. You can use your React feature that's also found at the top of the toolbar there if you want to interact during the webinar. So things like sending a thumbs up or a hand clap, different emojis are available. We talked about muting your microphone. You can feel free to raise your hand using that raise your hand feature at the end of our webinar when we open it up for Q&A. And then also during the webinar, feel free to ask questions using the chat feature. You can choose from using a private chat that you send directly to me, myself. My name is Diamond Clark. I am your host today, as well as your librarian. And then you can also use the public chat feature if you need to send this information or your questions, comments out to everyone. Please note that the webinar will be recorded. It will be posted on YouTube. So if you need to go back and look at anything that we discussed today, it's going to be available. If you would like a copy of today's webinar, you can please put your request in the chat. Please include your Nightingale email address. I do ask that you drop your first and last name in the chat for attendance purposes. So if you want, you can send your first and last name and your email, all that information directly to me. There should be an option where you can send a message directly to myself, Diamond Clark, and I appreciate you for joining me today, and we'll get started now. All right, so today we will be covering the following. We're going to talk about where is the Nightingale Library? What does the Nightingale Library provide? Who is the Nightingale Librarian? What does the Nightingale Librarian provide? How to connect with the Nightingale Library. We'll take a quick tour. We'll talk a little bit about EBSCO. We'll do a tour of our EBSCO resources. I'll perform a search demo, a research demo for you guys. And again, throughout this whole process, you can drop your questions in the chat. And then finally, we will talk about additional services that the Nightingale Learning Resources Library team provides. And then finally, we'll open the floor for Q&A. Again, you can unmute at that time. Any questions that you may have put in the chat that I missed, I'll go through those questions again, and we'll open the floor up again for Q&A. All right. So first, where is the Nightingale Library? So the Nightingale Library is an online library, and you're able to access this both using your My Nightingale access as well as inside of your Canvas courses. So inside of My Nightingale, as you know, there's going to be a main menu over there on the left that's going to give you access to all of your different resources. So access to academic resources. The library is included there on that main left navigation, your main menu options. So here's a quick screenshot of what that library page looks like, the landing page, our home page. It's going to include access to different library resources like the research databases that are available in EBSCO, access to different library services like academic coaching, support with your textbooks, things of that nature. Here inside of your Canvas course, the library is also included. You'll see again, kind of some similarities. It's going to be here on the left-hand side with your main navigation. You'll see that you have access to your Canvas dashboard, of course. I'm inside of an actual course just to give you a look and feel of how to access the library here inside. Once you're inside of a course, you will see that the library is linked in there. So the library is not accessible here on your dashboard. You'll go into the Canvas course to access it that way. Okay, any questions at this time about how to locate the library? Okay, so I actually do have a question. Is the library available in all Canvas courses? So yes, the library is going to be linked inside of all of your Canvas courses. Again, it's going to be inside the course. So you want to go into your actual courses that are available for this semester, and then access the library that way. Okay. Next question. Why does my Nightingale library page look different than yours? So your Nightingale, your My Nightingale rather, access, you're able to personalize and customize the look and feel of your My Nightingale page. So you can move these bubbles around, you can move these squares around. And so some things may look different on your My Nightingale than how they look on mine because it is a customizable page, but all of the resources are still accessible. All right, any other questions? And let me go ahead and open up the chat here and see if we have any other questions. All right, so I don't see any others. Okay, here's another one. Can I access the library from my phone? So yes, you can access all of your My Nightingale resources that are found on the My Nightingale resource platform, along with all of the library resources. Those are all accessible on all of your devices. So whether you're working on a laptop, a tablet, a phone, you can access all of that. All right, so let me see if we have any other questions here. And again, you can feel free to drop them in the chat. If I've missed them, I'll come back to them at our Q&A at the end. All right, so let's stay in this view here and go to the next slide. All right, so what does the Nightingale Library provide? So the Nightingale Library provides 24 access to ebook collections, 24 access to academic databases. We also offer tutorials, so you'll have tutorials in the form of handouts. The library provides information tutorials that can also be included in your courses, maybe sent out to your instructors if they need support with any assignments that require research. We also provide course textbook support. Of course, you have your librarian services available. We also offer interlibrary loan services. So if you need access to resources that are not available through our library collection, that is an option that is supported by the library. We also have access to supporting graduate library services. The library provides frequently asked questions, so quick responses to all of your frequently asked questions by learners, how-to training videos. So the Nightingale Library offers access to videos available to support you in different areas that you may need assistance with, study skills and research tips, and then also scholarship assistance. All right, and I'm going to just open up the window here and see if we have any questions in the chat. All right. So moving forward, let's go ahead and go to our next slide here. And again, if you have just joined us, please drop your first and last name in the chat there, along with your email address. If you are interested in accessing the presentation at a later time. All right, so the next slide is going to talk about who is the Nightingale librarian. And I'm actually going to go back and put this in presentation mode. All right, so the Nightingale librarian is myself, of course. My name is Diamond Clark, and I am thrilled to be your librarian. It's my goal as a librarian to provide impactful reference experiences that utilize hands-on learning. So I think it's very important for me to not only talk about what you need to do, but give you time to practice. I also like to incorporate active listening. I think that's very important as a librarian, that you are actively listening to the needs of your users, your learners, your collaborators, and then also inclusive pedagogy. Libraries are the epicenter of any community, and librarians serve as guides to give learners the information tools they need to succeed. So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm thrilled to be your librarian, and I look forward to supporting you. Let's talk about some of the services that the librarian provides. So the librarian offers one-on-one library appointments, learner webinars. We also offer database assistance. So we'll talk a little bit about the research databases that are available to you as a student. And if you need any assistance with any of those databases, in addition to the tutorials and the how-to trainings that are available, I do offer one-on-one assistance with the databases. APA support is also available to support you with your writing assignments, your discussions, anything that includes formatting your content in APA. Research assistance is also available. Library in-class instruction. Reference services using the Ask the Librarian chat, the Ask the Librarian email, the Ask the Librarian form, and these are all different things that we'll touch bases on in just a little bit in our how to connect with the librarian. And then also the Ask the Librarian study hall and drop-in is available as another reference services. So the Ask the Librarian chat is going to be using the Microsoft Teams platform, where you're able to drop in a quick chat with the librarian, myself. The email is going to be through Outlook. We do ask that you use your Nightingale library email. I'm sorry, your Nightingale email when you're reaching out to the librarian, so that we can verify that you are indeed a learner here at Nightingale. The Ask the Librarian form is available through our EBSCO access page, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. These are all, again, touch points where you can reach out to the librarian. And then finally, the Ask the Librarian a study hall drop-in, that's going to be through GatherTown, and that's where you can come in and have a quick interaction with the librarian using the GatherTown platform. All right, so let's go ahead and, so to answer the question, is the library available on weekends? So yes, resources are available 24/7. You are able to go into the My Nightingale library page to access all of the resources that are available there. And then also inside of EBSCO, all of your research databases and the services and tools provided there are available 24/7. Can you get a textbook from the library? So no, textbooks are not supported in the library. We offer textbook support in the form of any questions that you may have, if you're having any access issues, where to best direct you for support, if you need to know what textbook to use, things of that nature. We're able to support you there, but the library does not provide your course textbooks. Your course textbooks are provided through your Canvas courses, and all of the content that you need concerning your courses are going to be available inside of Canvas. All right, let's go ahead and move on to some other questions. So can you contact me directly for questions? So you definitely can reach out directly to me using these different reference service touch points that were listed here. Any contact that goes out to the Nightingale librarian is going to come directly to me. And then my hours, I offer morning, afternoon, and evening support Monday through Friday, and then also on the weekends on Sundays. So if you, need something late at night in the evenings during the week, I am available to support you using these different reference services available. We'll talk a little bit about the hours for these different services on an upcoming slide, but there is support available from the Nightingale Library morning, noon, and night, and also on the weekends to support work-life balance. So let's go ahead and move on, and we'll talk about how to connect with me. So we touch bases on that a little bit. This is the calendar that I mentioned earlier. So this is going to list what hours are available for those different touch points under the reference services that we discussed. So as you can see, library webinars are available in the morning. This is going to be a semester calendar. So every semester you will have a library calendar where you can learn about all of the different ways to connect with the library. So as you can see, we have morning and evening as well as weekend support there. And that's going to cover our library webinars, our drop-in study hall hours using GatherTown, and the Ask the Librarian chat, which is available inside of Microsoft Teams. So let's go ahead and touch bases on another way that you can connect with the Nightingale librarian. So I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier using the Ask the Librarian form. This is going to be located inside of the EBSCO landing page. EBSCO is where you access your resources in the form of academic databases, and then additional resources that can be found on My Nightingale are also connected inside of EBSCO. This right here is going to give you a look of what the Ask a Librarian form looks like on the EBSCO page. We do ask that you fill out the question form and be sure to include your first and last name when you're filling out the form, your Nightingale email, your program affiliation. So we do ask that you include all these things just so I can best support you, have proper context around your question, what it is that you need, and then also a detailed explanation of your question or concern. So to learn more information about how to do things like book an appointment, learn about webinars, there's going to be information on upcoming events like the webinar that you're attending today that will be sent out, and weekly check-ins. So you should receive an email every week that gives you, updates about important things that you need to know, important dates, events, and upcoming webinars from the Learner Resources Library team. The library in particular will be included there. And then also throughout this semester, the Learner Resources Library team, which is comprised of myself and different departments like the Writing Center, the Math Lab, we're in constant communication with both collaborators and learners. So there's always constant outreach and awareness to let you know all about the upcoming events like webinars that we have to offer. And how to book an appointment. So things like how to book a one-on-one library appointment. We'll talk about that now. So in addition to the Ask a Librarian form, you can, again, contact me via email using your Nightingale email, and then also the Microsoft Teams chat. You can contact the librarian. So not only can you contact myself, you can contact different members from the Learner Resources Library team directly. Inside of Teams chat, you want to search for Ask the Librarian. It'll pop up here, and that's going to give you direct contact to interact with me. Same thing when it comes to your emails, you're going to type in Ask the Librarian, and that's going to give you direct access to emailing me. So even though it says librarian@nightingale.edu, that is going to come directly to me. All right, so if you do need a copy of the calendar that was just shown here, you can drop me your email address. I can send a copy of this presentation to you. And then that's also sent out throughout the semester for updates and awareness about upcoming webinars and support hours. And so we talked a little bit about how you can have a one-on-one library appointment. This is going to be made available through our academic coaching. So our academic coaching is a resource also available on My Nightingale. To get started with that, you want to access My Nightingale, and instead of going to the library, you would go to academic resources and then click on your academic coaching bubble or circle tiles that are available. From there, you would click select the make an appointment with an academic coach bubble. It's going to look just like this. And then from there, you can click on my picture to open the form to the Ask the Librarian bookings page. So this is going to be if you need a one-on-one appointment with the librarian for maybe more in-depth assignments that you need assistance with. If it's something that's more than just a quick question about navigation or an access error, you're able to make an appointment with myself. We'll talk a little bit about how you can access reaching out to different team members that are a part of the Learner Resources Library team towards the end of the presentation. But it would be a similar navigation path to reach out to additional team members. So if you need assistance with learner technology, you would still follow the same steps, but you would reach out to Curtis. If you need one-on-one appointments with the Writing Center, same thing. So you would still access it from your My Nightingale dashboard, go to your academic resources. Academic resources is going to be one of those links again on that main left navigation. Your menu tabs are on the left. And then from there, go to academic coaching. And again, select the make an appointment with an academic coach, and you would just select accordingly. If it's related to the library, you're going to click on the picture here for myself. For any other team member, you would just follow accordingly. All right. So once you click on the picture, it's going to pop up a form for you to complete. And this is going to be the form for the Ask the Librarian. So again, I mentioned that you're going to follow the same navigation path if you're working with any of the other team members and the Learner Resources Library team. So if you click on my picture, if you click on Curtis's picture, anyone from the Writing Center, once you click on the picture, it's going to take you to a screen that looks like this. So it may say something different like Ask the Writing Center, Ask the Math Lab. Here we're talking about Ask the Librarian. So booking a one-on-one appointment with me will take you here to this screen. It's going to give you time slots that you can book with me. And please note that all the times are in Mountain Standard Time by default. You can adjust the time settings. As you can see, I have a screenshot included here where you would just click on the drop down and adjust the time settings as needed so that the calendar can translate properly on your Outlook calendar. For the form, here I have a screenshot that asks that you include things like your first and last name, your email. Here, we do ask that you include your Nightingale email. There is additional fields that are not needed here. So as you can see, the little red asterisk or star are going to label the required fields that you need to fill out for this form. And then there's a box here for any special request. This is where you can put in details about what it is that you need. So you feel free to fill out those details. Once you press that book button, a confirmation email will be sent to you. And you have successfully booked an appointment with the librarian. Again, this is going to be the same type of navigation steps that you would use when you're working with any of the other team members. Okay, so if you have questions about how you get to this screen, again, for navigation purposes, going back, you would access your My Nightingale. From there, you would go to Academic Resources. That's going to be on that left-hand side. From there, it's going to open up that main landing page for academic resources. Here, you would be taken to academic coaching. You would select the make an appointment with an academic coach bubble. And then from there, it's going to open up a directory of all of our team members. So the library falls under the technology and library section. And then from there, you would click on the picture, whether you're working with myself or any of the other team members, it's the same process. You click on the picture, and then from there, you're taken here to your bookings form, and you select the time slots that you need and fill out this form, press book, and then you'll receive a confirmation email. Okay, so you'll know that the form went through once you receive a confirmation, and you're able to do things like reschedule your appointment. You can cancel your appointment. So there are different tools and features that are available within the bookings feature that you will have access to later. You should also receive an option to add the booking onto your calendar. And then you should also be able to set reminders. So if you need to set reminders for this appointment, that's going to be available in your calendar settings, where you can go in and set a reminder to yourself that you have an upcoming booking library appointment with the librarian. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. And actually, before we move on, remember that you got to click on the picture in order to access the form here to set your appointment. Okay, so remember to click on that picture, and you can't click on the picture now. If I send you a copy of this presentation, or if you access that directory through your My Nightingale dashboard, then you'll have access to clicking on the picture. So I can click on the picture right now because I'm directing the presentation, but I can send you a copy of this and you'll be able to access it that way or directly through your My Nightingale dashboard. All right, so let's take a tour of the Nightingale Library. And we looked at this a little bit briefly earlier, but let's go into some of the resources and see what is there. So we talked a little bit about academic coaching, and I discussed that you can access that through the academic resources tab that way, clicking on the academic coaching bubble. Academic coaching is also available inside the library. So same navigation path, you click on that academic coaching bubble, it's going to go to different areas, including the make an appointment with an academic coach that we discussed. And then we talked about how you can click on pictures of the different team members. So as you can see, as it loads here, our different team members are listed. As it relates to the library, you would just scroll down, click on my picture, and this is where you can do the clicking. And that's going to pull up that bookings form that we discussed. So just for navigation, so you can see how it works. These are essentially the screenshots coming to life. So you can see the appointments that are available. You want to click on an actual time in order to access that form that was shown here. And then this is where you're going to fill out those required fields, put in those details, press book, and then you'll have access to your confirmation for your booking. Additional resources in the library. Let's go back to the library. Include things like access to free online books and resources. So we'll talk a little bit about how you can access the online books that are included in our EBSCO collection, but there are plenty of resources available for open access books and resources. Open access is just a fancy word that means free. So it's going to be open and accessible online on the World Wide Web. So you can click here And this is just a highlight of, some resources. It's going to include information about Libby, which is a library reading app that will give you access to online books, and some videos that covers how you can access free audiobooks. But again, open access is just simply free. So you can at any time do a search for free resources, like research databases, journals that are available and free for you to use online. Um, we have included information on getting started with your bookshelf. Bookshelf is going to be the platform that's available for you to review your course textbook content. Everything that you need regarding course textbooks, again, is included inside of your Canvas course. And we do offer support for questions or any concerns that you may have about your Vital Source bookshelf. Again, the library does not provide textbooks, but we do provide support in the form of any questions that you may have. We also have tutorials available, additional support services like study skills. This is going to include videos to support your research, your overall learner experience, as well when it comes to things like time management, note-taking, anxiety. There is a lot that comes with an online program. And so it's very important that you know the importance of balancing your time. Also, healthy coping mechanisms when it comes to anxiety and stress. There are also additional resources about where and when to study, because balance is very important when you are doing anything in an online environment, because lines can kind of get convoluted when you're at home or out and about, but you actually have responsibilities that you need to be taken care of. So it's important for you to have balance and management in those areas. And we do provide tips and tricks on the importance of studying, time management, note-taking, things of that nature. Also here on the library page, we have additional support for scholarship, research, and writing. That's going to link you to some of the resources that we have about finding scholarships at Nightingale, the process of how to successfully write an essay for scholarships. So again, support resources available there. And then also support for research strategies is included here. That's going to give you access to videos that we have created, and we are constantly growing and building our library. So again, you have access to content here, but you'll definitely see more of it as we go along, building out these different areas to support you as a learner. There is a feedback link that is included here on the feedback button. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We're always looking for feedback. We appreciate your time to complete this feedback form. In the event that you do so, I will loop back to the feedback form towards the end of the presentation, but this is going to give you direct access to our feedback form where you can drop any comments, questions in the form there. It will automate based off of your email address, and I believe it'll automatically include your name on that feedback form, and you're able to just fill out the questions. It's a very seamless, easy process to do. All right, so let's go back into our PowerPoint. Uh-oh. Sorry. Okay, so now that we've taken a tour of the library, let's talk about what is EBSCO. So you've heard me say EBSCO a few times throughout the webinar. EBSCO is a research network. So you can think of EBSCO as a house, and the different rooms inside would be specific research databases, ebooks, library technology platforms, and different resources that are available to support learners. So EBSCO is a leading provider of things like research databases, e-journals, and also a major provider of library technology. So we're going to take a quick tour of the library technology that we use through EBSCO to provide the research databases to our learners and our collaborators. EBSCO also offers ebooks and clinical decision solutions for places like universities, colleges, hospitals, corporations, government, K-12 schools, as well as public libraries. So a lot of people use EBSCO, and EBSCO, again, is going to be a research network. You can think of them as a research business. Many people will refer to them as a vendor. And they are the platform or provider that we use to provide access to our databases. So Nightingale College uses EBSCO to provide access to nursing research databases like CINAHL, our nursing ebook access, as well as our dynamic health platform. And then you can access EBSCO from the My Nightingale library page by using the click here to launch EBSCO button. So we were just inside of Nightingale, My Nightingale, and we clicked on the library page there, the library tab on the left-hand side that took us to the library homepage. And this is what they're referring to, the click here to launch EBSCO button. So this is how you're going to get access to EBSCO. So how can you access EBSCO from your phone? Just like My Nightingale, EBSCO, because it is a resource that is utilized by the library, it's going to be accessible on all devices. So whether you're using your laptop, your tablet, your iPhone, your smartwatch, it's going to be accessible as long as you have access to My Nightingale, because it is provided through the library. It's going to be accessible on all those devices. So you can access the research databases at any time on any device. All right, so let's take a tour of EBSCO. So again, you're going to access EBSCO from My Nightingale. And then once you click on that button, let's go back just for the purpose of demonstration. You access EBSCO from My Nightingale. Once you are in My Nightingale, you go to library, you would click on the button here, and it's going to take you to the EBSCO landing page. And that looks like this. So here we are on EBSCO. The Nightingale College Library landing page that is made available through EBSCO. Let's talk about this page here. So at the very top, you will see that there is access again to resources that are provided through My Nightingale. So we want to make sure that there is a seamless experience where you can go in and out of resources and you're still on the My Nightingale platform. So with that being said, we have linked you back into different areas that you can go to. You can go back to the library homepage, as you can see here. So again, it's going to be a seamless process of interchanging in and out of resources. And again, as we discussed, you would click here to go right back to EBSCO. Additional access points are nursing resources, the My Nightingale landing page, learner support resources, graduate resources, and academic resources. Here we have our main search box, and this is where you are able to search the Nightingale Library database collection. Okay, so on the library homepage, we have access to all of the library resources. As you can see here, the library resources includes access to EBSCO research databases. Once you're here inside of EBSCO, you're going to have your direct access to the research databases, along with additional access back to My Nightingale using these different points here, and then also some of the resources and services that we've talked about earlier. Again, they're interconnected, so you have a seamless experience to go in and out of different areas of your My Nightingale. Going back up to the top of the page, this is going to be your search box. So this is going to give you direct access to our database collection, where you can search not only the open access resources that we discussed, where you have that free access to things like journals and ebooks, but it's going to include databases that we subscribe to, that we've purchased for our learners and collaborators to use for their experience. So databases like CINAHL, your ebooks collection, a Medline, PubMed, all of that is going to be available through this search box here. And let's talk about how is it available through the search box. This search box allows the user to enter their search keywords, their research strategy, and it will search all of your keywords using all of the databases that are included in our collection, along with some open access options, and then find your results, searching all of those databases at once. This is called a federated search. So what that does is basically it's opening multiple books at the same time, if you could think of it like that, or multiple doors at the same time, multiple file cabinets at the same time, searching for information based off of your search keywords that you put in there. We're going to come back and perform a search in just a moment. Let's talk a little bit more about the navigation of this page here. So if I scroll down, I can see that there are additional resources and services. We touched bases a little bit earlier about the Ask a Librarian form. So here it is in real time. This is, again, one of those touch points that you can connect with the librarian. We talked about the required fields that you're asked to fill in, program affiliation. You can see all of those options are available here. And the Nightingale Library is available to learners and collaborators alike. So there is an affiliation or designation there as well. And again, as mentioned, we do ask that you provide as much information as possible when it comes to reaching out to the library so that we can better assist you. So whether it's here, whether it's the bookings page where you are setting up a one-on-one appointment, please enter as many details as possible when it comes to asking questions or stating what your concern is, so we can have proper context to assist you. So when it comes to including anything about your courses, we do ask that you be specific, provide course information. If there are specific details about an assignment, feel free to include that. And as mentioned here, we do look forward to hearing from you. You'll know that your form has been submitted to the library. Once you fill out all of these fields and press submit, there will be a confirmation that lets you know that this form has been submitted. So no worries on that. You just want to fill out the required forms, scroll down here and press submit. And we want to know how you're feeling about your library experience. So again, in line with that feedback, we're always looking for feedback. We want to hear from you. What's your experience like? So feel free to include that. It is optional, but we do encourage that you let us know how your library experience is going. If you need to reset the form to fill it out again, maybe there was an error, that option is available as well, and that would just clear out the details. So if I'm typing in, help, please, if I need to reset the form, it's just gonna clear it out for me and I'm able to start again. All right, so let's go back. And here we have a library overview video. This is going to give you information about the look and feel of the library, and then just navigation support, kind of some of the things that we've talked about today. As you can see here, you see some books that are interchanging. This is going to be our book review, where you're able to see some interesting titles that are available for you to review in the form of an ebook. These are going to be electronic books that are available for you to access here. And as we scroll down, these are, again, additional resources that are also available on the My Nightingale platform. So again, we are going with that seamless experience where you can, maybe step out and work in other specific areas, but you can always bring it back and come back to your My Nightingale. So areas like academic coaching that we discussed earlier, Specific areas in the Writing Center like APA paper formatting, APA reference and citations, that's going to be included here. We also have links to your databases. So if you want to go directly to a database, you want to go directly to something like CINAHL or Dynamic Health, you're able to access it there in the databases section. You also have access to library tutorials. We talked a little bit about that earlier. And additional support areas like the math lab, scholarships. You're going to have access to Turnitin and Draft Coach. This is where you go when you are working on your writing assignments, when you need them to be evaluated for things like grammar, punctuation, plagiarism. This is going to be a service that's available through the Writing Center, also included here on the EBSCO page. And then also access to the Writing Center itself and additional support areas like writing assignment review. This is where you can go to submit your paper. So we talked a little bit about how the library provides APA support. The Learner Resources Library team offers a writing assignment review. And this is where you can submit a ticket inside of Fresh Service to have your papers reviewed, your discussion reviewed by members of the learner, team members rather, of the Learner Resources Library team. Members from the Writing Center are going to be available to review your papers. I'm also available to review APA content within your discussions, your papers, and I mostly support any research assistance that you may need, along with APA when it comes to assignment reviews. So that's going to be available. And then there are also things like writing assignment tips. And again, this is just going to link you right back to different areas in my Nightingale. All right, so let's scroll up. And we are going to do a search demo inside of that search box that we discussed. So let's go ahead and do a search for medical errors. So you'll type in your search keyword, you'll go ahead and press enter, and this is going to perform that federated search that we discussed, where it's going to search multiple databases at once based off of your search keywords and pull in results. Now, as you can see here, it has connected me here into Microsoft, and it's asking me to sign in based off of my Nightingale email. This is going to give you your access as a learner, your access as a collaborator into the databases. So it's going to validate you, verify you based off of your email. So I'm going to go ahead and log in there. And then from here, it'll take me to my research results. So based off of that search that I just put in here on the library page for EBSCO, I put in my search. I have now been taken to my search results, my research results. And as you can see here, there are millions of results available. Millions, which is a good thing, but it can be an overwhelming thing. So let's talk about how you can refine or limit those results so you have a more comfortable set of information to work with. So these are the results that you can see here. Let's talk about some of the navigation on the left-hand side, and then how you can refine your results here at the top. So on the left, it's going to give you your dashboard here inside of EBSCO. So EBSCO has management tools and features that are available, and you are able to set up an EBSCO account so that you have permanent access to these tools and features that are available. You are indeed encouraged to set up an account, and you can do that by clicking on My EBSCO here. I've already been validated, and it's asked me previously if I wanted to set up an account. So if this is your first time accessing the resources, once you click on your email address and it takes you here, there should be a pop-up that asks if you want to create a My EBSCO account. So if it does that, you definitely want to say, yes, please set up a My EBSCO account for me. If that's a screen that you've missed, you simply want to go here to My EBSCO host, and there will be a link where you can, start your account essentially. So you'll click on this little icon here, and that will take you where you need to go to set up an account. Once you have your account set up, you're going to have access to all of these tools, and you will need, again, to set up an EBSCO account to have access to EBSCO features. Okay, once you've set up that account, though, as you can see, once it validates your email address, it's going to automatically log you in. So there's no need to, essentially log in twice, unless you're possibly on a new device that you've never accessed EBSCO before. It may ask you to log in. Okay, so features include an overview. You can create project folders for your research. As you save research, so you'll see this little icon here for saving research. As you save it, it will create a saved folder. And you can save your results. So you see these icons match here, that save feature, and then this is going to be a saved folder essentially. So you can save results. You can also save searches. So searches that you've performed. If I want to save this search for medical errors, I'm able to do that as well. You can also create things like journal alerts. So if you're working inside of an academic journal, and this is like your favorite journal, you've had a really good research experience, and you want to make sure that you get up-to-date journal alerts when it comes to that specific academic journal, you can create journal alerts inside of your EBSCO account. And then you have research tools where you can perform a new search. So if you want to start over, you don't want to search for medical errors, you want to start on something new, you can click on new search and then perform an additional search there. Let's go back. Okay, so the next research tool that's available is going to be publications. So we talked about how EBSCO is a house, and it has, you can think of it as a house with different doors inside. Those different doors would be academic databases, library technologies, ebooks. If you go into a specific door, there will be specific, let's say, areas inside of that room, if you will, that you can also access, and that's going to be publications. So inside of a specific area, you will have access to all the publications that are included. So we are working in the specific area of EBSCO known as your EDS, which is your search of all of the databases. And then here it's going to give you access to all of the publications that are included in that search. So you can see that your search is being pulled from all of these different areas, is what I'm trying to say. So you can search the publications by alphabetical order there. You can search for a specific title. You can also browse the databases that are pulling that information that we talked about using that federated search. So once you put in those keywords, these are all the areas that are being pulled from to create the search results for you. Okay, so we can see that these are all of the databases that are being included or searched when it comes to the keywords that you put in. All right, and then you can also browse by subject. So if you just want to go directly here instead of actually performing a specific search, you can go in and start with a simple keyword like medical errors like we did. On the left-hand side, you can just go into browse by subjects and say, I really want to focus on, education as it pertains to that. And you can pull resources according to subject area, as we can see here. So there are thousands of resources that are included when you are starting your research experience, just by simply entering those keywords of medical errors. It's grabbing from all of these different places, again, found using that publications button on the results page. Okay, so we went from here to here, all of these resources available and included in your research experience. All right, and going back to the results page, you can also create something called a concept map based off of your subject keywords. A concept map serves as a visual tool that will link you out to additional resources. So let's go ahead and just go with the first one here. And this is going to, again, create a visual tool for you. So by default, it's linking you to the grid, but let's go ahead and see what that map looks like. Oh, this is giving you, yeah, that was giving you a quick tutorial about the concept map. But this is what it looks like. This is your visual research tool, if you will. And this is going to give you all of the search concepts, the research concepts that are connected to that one search for laser medicine. So if I do a search for, let's do diabetes, it's going to generate, again, another concept map that will give me all of the different search concepts that are connected to this one area of diabetes. And so this supports your research experience. You're able to spring out and search more information about these topics. You can explore this concept. You can do things like add this to your search. So again, this is a part of your research experience. This is a part of you building out your research strategy. All those different things to give you an interactive learning experience. So again, this is called your concept map, and this will be available as a resource to you inside of EBSCO. All right, so this last section here is going to be for links, and this will take you back to your homepage. Once you are working with a specific tool, in the form of a resource like an academic journal, you want to click on the title here to access more features for that specific article. And just briefly up here, you're able to limit your results according to different search filters. We talked about how you can have an overwhelming set of results. Let's talk about how you can bring that down. You can limit by date, so going from over 2 million, if I just want to focus on articles from the last 12 months, I will see that that number decreases tremendously. So now I'm at just a little bit over 190,000. So we've definitely refined or made our our results more detailed so that we have a more comfortable set to work with. And then you can also limit by source type. So if I just want to work with academic journals, again, you can apply these different types of search filters to your results so that you have a more relevant, more specific set of information to work with. Let's go ahead and click on a title here so you can see how you can access additional tools. Once you're in a specific result, you have access to features like saving, citing, and this is going to link you to all of your major citation styles. We do observe APA 7th edition. And so it will generate a citation for you. This does not replace your knowledge of APA. So we do ask that you still test this reference in terms of your knowledge of APA. For more information about APA, that's going to be available in those different areas that we discussed, as well as the Writing Center. To better prepare you when it comes to reviewing a citation. So you never want to blindly just copy and paste an auto-generated citation. It does definitely save you time, but you do have to have a knowledge and understanding to review this information before you're adopting it into your research assignments. You can also do things like add to project, share, and then of course download. You can see that it's accessible as a PDF, and then you can download that result, research result or source offline for you to review later. All right, so that wraps up the demo there. Let's go ahead and X out. And again, just to bring it all home, from the My Nightingale library page, you want to click to launch EBSCO. You will then be taken to that main page where you can start a search. It'll lead you to all of those different amazing tools that we discussed. Again, we do offer a seamless experience where you can go back into different areas of My Nightingale, like the back to the library homepage, and additional resources are available for things like APA support and different touch points for the Learner Resources Library team. So let's get back to our presentation here. And I'm going to minimize. And so throughout the discussion, we've been talking about, different areas of the Learner Resources Library team. Let's talk about some of the additional services that are provided from the team. So my name is Diamond Clark. I'm the librarian. I am a part of the Learner Resources Library team. So the library is a part of a larger team of areas that support your learner experience. And we talked a little bit about how you are able to access the Learner Resources Library team through your academic resources tab on My Nightingale. So again, just to bring it all home, because we've discussed the team throughout the webinar, but specifically, again, you have access to different things like academic coaching. The Writing Center is going to be there to support you with your writing experience, specific APA formatting and tips. We also have access to the Math Lab and different touch points that we've discussed today about how to connect with the library. That's going to be a similar experience when you are connecting with the Math Lab, when you're connecting with the Writing Center. So they also offer things like one-on-one appointments using bookings, quick access through the email, access where you can, reach out on a Teams chat. So just like you have Ask the Librarian, you'll have Ask the Writing Center, Ask the Math Lab. So again, we offer similar methods where you can connect with us. And then support is available 7 days a week. Just like the library, there is morning, afternoon, and evening hours to support your work-life balance. Going back to My Nightingale, we'll talk about, again, how you can access these resources. So we're here on My Nightingale. You want to select academic resources, and then you have access to all of those different areas of the Learner Resources Library team. We also have the Technology Center included in the Learner Resources Library team, where you're able to reach out if you have any questions or concerns about technology. And as we mentioned earlier, there is a link here to a feedback form. So in addition to having library feedback that you can also give feedback on your experience in different areas of the Learner Resources Library team. So again, we are available 7 days a week. We offer morning, afternoon, and evening hours to support your learner experience, and we look forward to working with you. We have come to the end of our webinar today. I am going to stop sharing my screen. And thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. Let's go ahead and put this last slide up. So for any questions, you can reach out to myself. That's going to be librarian@nightingale.edu. We talked about the feedback form. I'm going to drop a link there for you if you're interested in completing the form. You are available to do that. We do definitely welcome your feedback. And thank you for attending today's webinar. I look forward to supporting your learner adventure. Remember, if you want a copy of today's presentation, to put your email in the chat there. And thank you so much for your time today. So I'm going to stop the recording.